Like to make a video where I go over how to write slash revise the literary analysis essay, the literary application essay, because we're not just analyzing, we are applying it to another idea. So let me open up this PowerPoint and I'll upload it all to Brightspace. Let me share my screen. Share. All right, from beginning. All right, so this is a literary application essay where we're comparing The Raven to social media. So the first thing you want to do is watch this video over The Raven, and so it's actually built in. Actually, I need to. Anyway, so it's built in, and I'll change that to where it plays on mouse click. But there is a full video that'll be attached to. It's pretty long, but it'll be attached to this PowerPoint. So you're more than welcome just to click on it. I downloaded it. You can click on it and watch it here because a video helps you to read it. It just helps you as you go to read the poem. It helps you kind of correlate between what you saw and what you're reading, right? So that's what you want to do. And then you want to ask yourself, so what are some of the, then you want to read The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe and search for personification, symbolism, themes, setting, tone, repetition. So you want to do kind of a literary analysis, just a quick list, like a literary analysis list, I guess you can say, finding these ideas in The Raven. And then you want to ask yourself, where does the poem remind me of social media, right? There's some obsession and repetition, some seeking validation, isolation, this despite the fact that we're connected, we still isolate ourselves, and this descent into kind of a mental madness, this mental distress, right? And then after that, say, okay, it kind of reminds me of social media, but I want some help on that. So let's discover a scholarly source over social media to help you find those applications. And I have a lot. I uploaded a lot to Brightspace. So there's understanding social media addiction, that deep dive, poor mental health affects adolescents' well-being, how social media can negatively affect kids' well-being. So I have to make this very clear. Your outside source is not about the Raven. So if you're finding and searching for an outside source about the Raven, then you're not using those critical application skills, right? So you have to take an idea from the Raven, and analyze, or from social media and the Raven, and find a scholarly source about social media, not about the Raven, because you're going to apply it to the Raven, right? So I do always have a couple students who are looking for, again, that source about the Raven. Your source is not about the Raven, it's about social media. All right, and then we want to start working on a quick outline where we create points applying the Raven and your social media source. And I have an outline for you that's, not that wouldn't fit on this page, of course. So I have an introduction. We describe, not the commercial, we describe the Raven. So I'll change that. We describe the Raven, and I went into theme, settings and plot, and literary devices. So I broke it up into how the theme from the Raven is like social media, the settings and the plot is like social media. There's a lot of literary devices like social media. And then we conclude with a summary of our points, right? And so we'll go over that here in just a moment after this video. And then we want to start expanding our essays. So we want to support our body points using quotes and summaries from our sources, from the Raven and from our social media source, and ask how and why are the Raven and social media alike? So why? Why do we have this idea? And it's that idea that we have these issues in our culture that have been here for a very long time. They're just manifesting in different ways in this time period. And we want to blend two of the sources. We go into that later. Maybe I may have taken the blend out. So if I took the blend out, then don't worry about that. But we'll talk about how to blend. All right. And then of course, you want to make sure that you attach a works cited page and that you have in-text citations. A lot of students receive 1 point because they do not have, or they have their works cited page either isn't done correctly, or they don't have in-text citations, or the in-text citations are not done correctly. So make sure that we have a works cited page, right? And then there is an example essay outline is in Brightspace. So I do have an example essay outline. All right, so I'm going to go over that outline now here. So let me open it up, and I don't want you anymore. So we're going to go over this outline now. I'm kind of doing this kind of quick or zoom. There we are. All right, let me share my screen. We're going to go over this outline. I'm going to share my screen with that literary. Okay. So here's my example outline. Of course, we want our name, the heading, name, and then your professor's name, and then the name of the class. So this is how it should look. And so I still have some students who have like a really big title who don't have their name on it or whatever. Right. Then I have my introduction. Social media addiction often feels harmless, but it can gradually trap users in feelings of isolation and depression. Edgar Allan Poe presents a narrative who experiences a similar downward spiral as he becomes consumed by grief and repetition. Then I have my thesis statement: through many literary devices, the Raven parallels social media addiction by showing how algorithms ensnare us in self-destruction. I try to use some verbiage, some language that can show that I'm using a poem. All right, and then I want you to see here, I did incorporate some in-text citations. So here I have a source. So my first one is about the theme. The central themes of obsession and grief in The Raven reflect what many of us feel today because of social media. So I have a good topic sentence, and then I'm supporting it with The Raven, and I'm supporting it with sources. So here's a source. 4 in 10, 40% of students have had persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness. And I got that from Mental Health. So if you scroll down to my works cited page, you will see mental health. My reader can go from one to the next. They can go from there to there, right? So that's very important. They go from there to there. And then here, my body 2, settings and plot. So the confined setting and repetitive plot structure of The Raven reflect how social media is also confined and repetitive. So I have a topic sentence. I support it with, all those supports. And then I have deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing. And then I have a dash. So a lot of us are missing this dash right here. So make sure that we have this dash between our lines. So, and I want us to do that at least twice to show that we can practice that at least twice. And then there's my in-text citation, which is Poe, and these are the line numbers. So this line number 30 and 31. A lot of students, almost all students didn't get that correct. So we've got line number 30 and 31, and we have our dash between the lines. So make sure that we have that. And then the last one is literary devices. The narrator gives authority to the Raven, much like how we allow emojis and buttons to control our thoughts. Personification and nevermore again. The bust of Pallas symbolizes knowledge. And anyway, and then I have a conclusion and I have my works cited page. All right, so you can look at that. You can look at the PowerPoint for and make sure you look at the due date. I push the due date as far as much as I possibly could. So we are revising and writing the Raven essay, and revising and writing the Raven essay, and use this to help you do that. Right? Use this to help you do that. So let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if you have any questions, and I hope this helps.